the president of Albion College, Dr. Maury Ditzler, and from Oaklawn Hospital, Richard Lindsay. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to see you. And today, the two of you are excited about a partnership that is benefiting the Albion community for health care. I think there's been a hole in Albion for quite some time when it comes to health services, hasn't there?
Yeah, anything that benefits the Albion community is a benefit to Albion College. Colleges are strong when their host community is strong, and vice versa. One of the struggles we had at Albion College was hard to attract faculty and staff to live close to campus when we couldn't, or when the town couldn't provide health care, a strong education, a job, culture, housing, and so we collectively have been working with the town on that, and it's great to have a partner from Oaklawn Hospital to upgrade the health care in town.
Yeah, and before you came to Albion, years before, and Richard will remember, there used to be the Albion Community Hospital.
Correct.
And like so many small town hospitals, it just couldn't make it.
Right, and we did, when the hospital closed, I think it's been about 12 years ago, we did open an office in Albion at that point, but they never really had the express care, that somebody you could just stop in, emergency room type services, and that was really the piece that was missing in the community. So that was what we were really glad to be able to partner with Albion College to be able to do that.
And I imagine, particularly for college students, they're not looking for a full service hospital. They need the quick stop kind of service, right?
Most of them are young and healthy, and they don't go to college imagining that they'll need health care until they have a sore throat and they need it. Because it was in health care in town after hours, we opened a clinic on campus, or we opened a healthcare facility on campus. We had really good people working very hard there, but colleges aren't in the business of running healthcare, and so we couldn't offer as the comprehensive care that students suddenly found they needed. They didn't expect to need it, but they did, and so part of the partnership with Oaklawn was to improve health care for the citizens of Albion and our employees who live in Albion, but also make sure we had more comprehensive care for our students. And I think neither one of those by themselves was enough to bring a clinic to town, but the two populations together was what interested or what attracted Oaklawn.
And I understand you put out an RFP asking for somebody to step in, and really there was only one
Right.
response,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was yours. Why was Oaklawn interested in coming east?
Well, and we very much kind of view the edge of where we provide services up to the edge of Albion, maybe a little bit into Jackson County, so it made sense within where we provide services already. And it made sense with the recent annexation of the schools by Marshall Public Schools. We kind of had very much have become more of two communities together as opposed to two separate communities, which is very different than what's been in the past. So it made sense in a lot of ways, and really what brought it all together was we had our very able help at the state level. Senator Knopf was able to work with the state legislature and get us a grant for a total of a little over $1 million, that all of a sudden when we were having discussions to have money on the table, that changed everything. And I've said to Senator Knopf several times, it wasn't enough to do the project, but it was too much to walk away from. And so we started to put the pieces together, and again had a lot of partners between college, private funders, foundations, just a whole bunch of people came together to make it happen.
Well, the facility's open already.
It's open. Yep. We've had really strong volumes so far. We've run many days. We run about 30, 35 would be a full day. And so we've been in that range many days. The volumes have been strong enough that if we can find another person, which is a challenge in the small town as well, we will be expanding to Sunday hours in the fall when the students come back. So,
By popular demand.
by popular demand, yes, absolutely.
Well, you brought along some photos, and I think we actually have some pictures of the clinic in operation. So this is the exterior. And tell us about this old building that it's in.
Yeah, it used to be called the Albion Fireproof Hotel, and then it was an apartment complex. Then it became a living unit for college students. We still have college students living upstairs, where our Pre-Health Professions Institute is locating itself on the first floor, and then the clinic is on the ground level. It's on the Albion College campus. It's right at the Albion College campus. It's close to downtown. It's convenient for the citizens of Albion, and it's a convenient walk for our students. It's about a block and a half from where I live. I think I was one of their first customers.
At the ribbon cutting, that was what he said right there. Well, I'm going to go here in the morning, right? So, really a nice location. And we took the ground level and completely demolished it down to the basis. This is our CEO, Greg Beeg, that was just announced 2 weeks ago as a permanent CEO.
Brand new, just this month, right?
Yep. I have to mention this too. Bill Dobbins, owner of Castor Concepts, created that sign in the back. So it's a 5-foot wide piece of steel that's laser cut, and it's a perfect place to get pictures with dignitaries. So I've got a whole bunch of Facebook pictures with people in front of that sign. This is actually Nikhil Patel. So a really cool Albion College program is the AmeriCorps Vista program, and so we had a AmeriCorps Vista that's essentially paid through the county. I guess I'm not sure exactly how, but came to us as basically a person that we could use, and he's helped us with outreach. So we've done a lot of outreach in the Albion community. We've also plotted who we're serving, and we've served very effectively at this point the entire community, which we're really happy with. So Nikhil's done a lot with this. And so this is Dr. Talia Phillips. So she is an Albion College grad, and there's a theme with Albion College Oaklawn Connections, and getting her picture taken for the Yo Trump View, which is our alumni magazine. I'm an alumnus as well. But she is a fantastic physician, and she's one that moved from our B Drive North location into this location. And talking about HIPAA, I think I can mention, because this was in the Pleiad, she's also Dr. Ditzler's physician. and they
You have my permission to reveal that.
But it was great. There was an article about some issues with Dr. Ditzler, and I thought, oh my gosh, if I had printed this, I would have all kinds of problems. But it was in the Pleiad, and it was great, wonderful story. So. And
Richard's the executive director of legal and community affairs, and he's assured us we're not violating any HIPAA laws.
Yes, sir. This is we have the Albion Marshall Connector as a joint project between Marshall and Albion to basically access the two communities. So we advertise on this, but this is another piece there's a whole bunch of different organizations that put in a little bit of money to make this work. And unlike Jackson, we don't have a countywide transit system. And so this is a piece to kind of connect the two communities. It's been very, very important over the last several years.
One of my faculty members uses the expression that if we think of America as a river, towns like Albion are the headwaters. And if the headwaters of a river aren't healthy, then the river's not healthy. And small towns across America are struggling. Right? They've been struggling for the last several decades, and lots of reasons they struggle. One of them is the absence of health care. So we think this partnership is a model for ways in which America's headwaters can be rebuilt, and we can bring some vitality back to the small towns. Lots of the small towns have small colleges in them. There's this wonderful synergy. If you look at the 100 top residential liberal arts colleges in the country, they tend to be in small towns. And that's not true of very many other industries. You don't find the 100 best law firms in a small town, or the 100 best high-tech firms in small towns. But it's true of colleges. But those colleges are beginning to struggle as the towns struggle. And so it's important for colleges like ours, and important for America, that these small towns bounce back. So we think this partnership between the college and the town in lots of areas, including the healthcare, can be a model for other institutions in other towns.
Well, I think we've seen that in Albion, really, in the years you've been there. I think about 4 or 5 years.
I'm starting my sixth.
6 years.
Time passes.
Okay. Well, over the last 6 years,
Yeah.
Albion has been undergoing a renaissance, really. But when you look at some of the growth and development in Albion and in the downtown, a lot of it is because of the college, like the hotel.
Yeah.
If the college wasn't there, that hotel would not be either.
It's our graduates understand the importance of the link between the town and the college, and so our graduates have come back and helped with the local development. Some institutions would have faculty who would have an expertise in hotel management, for example, but because we're a liberal arts college, we don't have those type of programs, but we do have graduates who understand how to develop hotels and how to do angel investments and how to open restaurants. and our graduates, understanding the importance of the town-gown relationship, have come back. And the hotel people say, did the college do that? Well, it's more accurate to say the college's graduates did that.
There's even more of a presence of the college in the downtown as well, as you've taken space and created space right on Superior.
Yes. And as we come back to saying our future, the future of a college like ours is tied to the health of the town. For us to be strong, we have to lean on our competitive advantage, and our competitive advantage is the interaction of students and faculty. And if the faculty aren't willing to live in a town, you can't have that strong interaction in the evenings. Faculty aren't going to drive home to Ann Arbor or Lansing or even Jackson and then drive back in for a basketball game or a play. But if they can walk 2 blocks, they'll do that. And so we've got to make certain that we have a town in which all of our employees want to live.
And you've made that known. You've issued that request.
Yes.
To the staff and faculty.
To the staff and faculty that, and we've given them incentives to live and stay in a town. And one of those important incentives was the partnership with the clinic, right? We said there are 5 things you need to attract someone to town. You need a place to live, you need schools for your children, you need health care for your family, you need a job for spouses and family members, and you need culture and excitement in town. We're working all of those jointly with the EDC in the town and the Downtown Development Association and the City Council, working in partnership with the college and our graduates in all of those activities. We are, as I say, particularly excited with how quickly the healthcare has taken off. We opened it in March and close to capacity. We just heard today, and I just heard this for the first time, that we'll soon have Sunday hours in town.
So it is.
Told him on the way over. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going well.
Yeah.
It's going very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you talk about the struggles of small town America.
Yeah.
One is healthcare, not just in Albion, but Marshall. You have a community hospital, independent, that has been surviving and successfully surviving. I'm sure there's a lot of people that wonder what's been the secret for Oaklawn, Richard.
It's and we had this conversation on the way over as well. I think it's really about connecting with the community, about the community support. And we sit in a very similar situation to Albion College in the city of Marshall. We're a block off from downtown. We've had our confrontations over the years with the community, and we've kind of reached a balance as far as our growth. And we're very dependent on this small area that we serve. We're in between Henry Ford to the east and Bronson and Borges to the west. But we serve our community very well, and it's high quality health care. And we've got a local board of directors. We've got a CEO that lives a block from again, as the Albion College president, a block from the hospital facility. And it's very much about that connection with the small town. And people will drive to U of M for tests when they need to have those things done, but they really need to have that local care that, and I just was thinking about some of the stories immediately after we opened the Express Care, and it was the people that it was 6 o'clock at night and they had to make a choice to drive to Jackson or to Battle Creek, and they instead had that care right there in their local hometown and were able to get the test back and know what the result was, which is so important to people.
We see really a lot of synergy between Albion and Marshall, and I think part of it has been spurred by the school systems. There are many Albion students in the Marshall school system, but also the growth of both the downtown districts. There's days and times of the day where it's hard to get a parking spot on either of your main streets.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, isn't that exciting?
That is a great thing.
And we couldn't have imagined that only a few years ago. The school system partnership is important. There are approximately 40 young people who grew up in Albion and then went to school in Marshall and have come back to Albion College as students. And that's a great number of students, and they're doing well. We're impressed by the background, the preparation they're getting at Marshall High School. We're delighted to be able to be a hometown college as well as a national liberal arts college.
Has that changed, Maury? Are you seeing more people that are from Albion want to continue their schooling?
Yes, we are. Yeah.
It didn't used to be that way.
Well, there have always been some remarkable graduates from Albion High School who attended Albion College. Some of our most respected alumni around the world are double Albion graduates, and we're really proud of those individuals. Good education occurred in Albion for decades, but times change, and it was important to have a partner in Marshall to make sure that strong education continued. And so, not to downplay the young people who went in the past, our commencement speaker this year was Barbara Weiskittel, who grew up in Albion, went to Albion High School and Albion College. But we want to make sure that continues in the future, and Marshall's going to be a good partner on that.
Well, I know you mentioned Albion being a liberal arts school. You, with your science background, I know would be open to having your students pursue healthcare careers. Are there some opportunities for some jobs with this?
Well, we had just opened, or we're getting ready to open the Express Care, and knew there was an announcement coming up at Albion College, so I ended up being in the front row as Dr. Ditzler announced the gift to set up the Wilson Institute, which is the health
Pre-health professionals.
Pre-health professionals. But as we continue to talk about that, so that is going to be located on the floor above our clinic. Those students will be located in the building that we are in. We already have opportunities for internships and employment at Oaklawn, and so it's just going to accelerate that whole process. And part of what's really attractive to us is if you work in the community that you get your education in, you're much more likely to stay in that community. And I mentioned it's really hard, and I'm sure you've experienced this in Jackson as well. You can't get people to locate to the community. So if they've got ties to Albion College and Marshall and Albion, I think that puts us at the up on the list to getting them to stay, which is very important to us. So
Yeah, absolutely. Homegrown people are a lot easier
very important.
to hang on to.
Yeah.
Dr. Jim Wilson, who is one of the leading proponents and practitioners in gene therapy as a new area in medicine, donated $5 million to Albion College to create a cutting-edge pre-health professions program. Use the liberal arts concept to make certain that students are ready for what medical schools expect when they enroll. Medical schools have really upgraded their education in recent decades. Undergraduate curriculums haven't changed to keep pace. We're working on that at the college, and the institute doing that is located in the same building with the clinic.
Well, it's great to hear about the partnership and all the growth and development happening in Albion and in Marshall. Appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
You bet. Check out the new clinic in downtown Albion. We thank President of Albion College, Dr. Maury Ditzler, and from Oaklawn, Director of Legal Affairs and Communications, Richard Lindsay. Lots more coming.